One of the core turtles has died, Donatello, when he betrayed his family and Shredder. But the family was able to move his consciousness into the metal body of Metalhead, a robot. Just when the turtles were preparing their next plans, Shredder sent in his robots, led by Stockman, and cornered the turtles to attack both Splinter and Donatello's injured real body seemingly. This is Comicstorian. I read comic books to you in an audio drama format, and we make slight alterations, but just consider us your daily audio drama about superheroes. Now let's get started with Volume 13, first part. The Mousers and the Flyborgs rush Splinter and the Turtles, with everyone dropping into their combat stances to protect the body of Donatello. "My sons, protect yourselves," Splinter shouts as they leap to meet their foes. "Kill the rat!" the Flyborgs shout, but are quickly silenced by Splinter's walking stick. "You know, Sensei keeps telling us to protect ourselves, when I'm pretty sure we're the least of these fly dorks' worries," Raph shouts to Leo, and Leo nods, rushing to his father, telling him to fall back to the basement. "But Donatello is defenseless," Splinter says as he smashes another Flyborg. They nod, but Raph moves Splinter to the basement, promising him that Leo has a plan. After they leave, Mikey and Leo manage to take out a few more of the robots before they look up to realize that they aren't alone. "So what now?" Mikey asks his older brother, and Leo sheaths his sword. "I'm gonna go help with those damn bugs. You stay here and keep an eye on Donnie," he says, and Mikey doesn't like the idea at first, but he doesn't argue. "I got this, no problemo," he says with determination. Left alone with his brother, Mikey stays by his side. "You'll be okay, bro. Don't worry," he says quietly. But as a voice calls out, Mikey jumps to his feet with his nunchucks. "I'm worried, Mikey. At least not about me. Where's everyone else?" Donnie asks as he enters the room in the metalhead body. Mikey quickly fills him in, informing him that Leo ordered him to protect Donnie's body. But Donnie tells Mikey not to worry, that he's got everything figured out, and he puts a call through to Honeycutt, ordering the robot to teleport his body to Burnow Island. Mikey looks up in shock as Donnie disappears with a flash of light, reappearing in a protective medical pod with the Fuganoid. "Now please focus your efforts on protecting your family, my friend," Honeycutt says over the comms, and Donnie agrees, asking them to send the coordinates to Angel. "Tell her we're going to need all the help we can get," Donnie says. Elsewhere in the city, Angel and Alopex get the message, quickly leaping off the rooftops to get to their friends. But down in the streets below, the police look up to see a costumed vigilante and a giant fox leaping across the rooftops. "Up there!" he shouts to the sergeant, but she doesn't look up from her paperwork, informing him that she has spent years undercover, and nothing surprises her anymore. But that discussion is interrupted as the whole truck explodes, lifting it up into the air, slamming it hard on the ground. The cops try to crawl their way out, but the sergeant is looking through the cracked windshield and sees a gun-toting cat and a dumpster-wearing hermit crab. "Get him out of here, Herman! Move!" Hobbs says, pointing to the transport truck. "Roger, sir!" Herman shouts as he scuttles forward, using his claws to tear the side of the truck off. Hun is shocked as Herman reaches down, snipping through his handcuffs. He eyes the crab suspiciously as he gets out, rubbing his wrist. "So, I wasn't expecting this, but I ain't gonna try to look a gift horse in the mouth or nothing. But what's your play, cat?" he says to Hobb, and Hobb smiles, explaining that Hun is going to help them. "Freeze, freaks!" the sergeant snaps as she pulls herself free, aiming her pistol at the criminals. "Drop smoke, Herman!" Hobb snaps, and the crab quickly scuttles over, and the ground is shrouded by smoke. The mutants quickly make a getaway, hopping into Hobb's old truck and pulling away. "You know that big turtle of yours? Hates my guts, right? He ain't gonna be happy you did this," Hun points out, and Hobb nods and sneers. "Why do you think I didn't bring him?" As they drive away, the police begin to regroup outside of the turned-over police wagon. "Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That did surprise me," the sergeant says. Meanwhile, Leo and Raph form a defensive circle with Splinter, not wanting the Flyborgs to get around them. "Get ready! Here they come!" Raph shouts, but the laser blast rips through the Flyborgs and drops them all to the ground. "Good plan, getting everyone down here, Leo. But these two were just probing our defenses." Outside, more of Stockman's robots have arrived, swarming over the church the turtles call home. "We need to get out of here," Donnie tells them, explaining what happened to his body after Splinter offers his concerns for Donatello's body's safety. The turtles turn to the sewers, quickly jumping into the water. "Wait a second, father," Donnie says, quickly transforming his body into a boat, allowing Splinter to speed along the water. They quickly come to another junction, with Raph unhappy about their swim. "All I know is I'm gonna need a bath to wash off this bath," He snaps, but Donnie turns his head, activating Metalhead's searchlight, looking into the darkness. The ceiling then shifts above them as a bunch of Flyborgs and Mausers are crawling along it. "They have found us!" Donnie shouts to his family. Splinter leaps up, using his staff to knock the robots away as they clear the sewers and head out into the bay. "They're all around us. We have to get to the shore, my sons," he shouts, but the two Flyborgs then grab a hold of Raph, pulling him down beneath the waters, while another grabs Mikey and flies him straight into the air. Leo shouts for Donnie to get Splinter out of here as he dives in after Raph, and Donnie aims his grappling gun upwards and pulls Splinter free of the water. The two of them then continue to defend themselves from the robots. "I do not like abandoning your brothers like this, Donatello," Splinter shouts, and Donnie nods as he blasts more incoming robots. "Me neither, father. But like you said, we're no good in the water," he shouts back, but beneath the waves, Raph is struggling to breathe as the robots are pulling him deeper. But as he begins to black out, the air leaving his body, there's a flash of a sword as it frees him, and Leo grabs him, swimming to the surface. Flying through the air, though, Mikey pulls out his nunchucks and looks at the Flyborg. "If we're gonna fly like this, we should probably have a propeller," he shouts, and he swings the weapon up, smashing the Flyborg in the face. Stunned, the robot releases him, and he plummets back towards the water. "Cannonball!" he shouts with glee, swimming towards the shore, joining Leo and Raph. Splinter is happy that his sons have made it back, but he and Donatello are still surrounded. At that moment, Angel and Alopex suddenly appear, fighting through the collection of robots. "Man, am I glad to see you too," Donnie shouts, and Angel nods as she opens fire on the robots. "Let's hope you stay that way. There's a ton of these things," she says, and the others quickly join them, scaling the supports of the bridge, joining into the fight. Everyone gets into a defensive position, readying themselves, promising that they will fight together until the robots are destroyed. But Mikey looks at the horde of robots that surround them. Donnie, you think Harold has more robots like you lying around? Because I'm thinking we're all gonna need a body of our own soon." But back over at the Foot Clan, Stockman is watching through the eyes of his robots as they surround and attack the Turtles and their allies. "So Stockman, how is the slaughter going?" Shredder asks, but Stockman doesn't even look up. His eyes focus on the task. "Everything is going to plan, Shredder. I certainly didn't need any assistance from your lackeys." But Shredder is confused. He then whirls around to realize that his granddaughter is gone with a group of ninjas. "Karai!" he bellows. But back with the Turtles, they're preparing for the onslaught. But that's when everyone looks up in surprise as the Foot Clan ninjas descend from the shadows. And they attack the Mausers and the Flyborgs. In moments, the robots are defeated by the Foot Clan. "Okay, I'm totally confused, guys," Mikey tells them as he scratches his head. Karai steps to the front of the ninjas. "It is simple, Turtle. You do not deserve death by those machines. Not in the name of the Foot Clan," she tells him. She bows to Splinter, asking if he will hear her out. He studies her for a moment before asking his group to lower their weapons. "I'm listening, Oroku Karai," he sighs, and she nods, explaining that she did not save them out of compassion, but refuses to let their deaths be so dishonorable. She reaches for her blade. "Now we can finish this in a proper manner, as true warriors," she says, but Splinter holds up a paw, explaining to her that her vast army destroying such a small group would also be dishonorable. "Furthermore, if it's retribution Oroku Saki wants, as his Shunin, it is your duty to ensure that he does so in a way worthy of one who calls himself master," he tells her. Karai glares at him, knowing that he speaks the truth. There'd be nothing honorable about this battle today. Meanwhile, back on Burn Now Island, Harold and Honeycutt are arguing about how to fix Donnie's body, with Honeycutt explaining that they're going to need the ooze to repair him, but the amount that they're going to need would harm the Ultrams in stasis. "I want to help Harold, but I don't think I'm capable of creating more innocent victims in your war," he says, but a voice growls at him from the doorway. "Well, I can help you with that particular conundrum, if you'd be willing to help me with one of my own." Harold looks in shock at the new person from his computer screen. Back over at the Foot Clan headquarters, Stockman rips off his control helmet, snapping at Shredder that his ninjas destroyed all the robots. "Hear me now, Stockman. Whatever happened, you would do well to control your tongue." Shredder hisses at him, and an arrow flies through the air, destroying Stockman's command console. "Yes, you would," Karai says, and Shredder stalks across the room, demanding to know what his granddaughter did, and she immediately bows to her grandfather and master. "I have eliminated a dire threat to our clan, Master Shredder. Oroku Saki is about to kill her, but the words of Katsuni stay his hand, convincing him to hear Karai out. He finally nods and takes a seat at his throne. She stands before him and tells him that she believes that the Foot Clan has lost its way, that their army was devastated during the attack on Burnow Island, and they have fallen into dishonor by working alongside the cowardly Stockman. She believes that Shredder should have his vengeance on Splinter and the Turtles, but he should do so with an honorable path. This is the better way. Your Shunin speaks the truth, Saki. Splinter calls from the entrance to the base, flanked by his sons, surrounded by the Foot. It is far past time that we resolve this war between us. I, Homoto Yoshi, formally challenge you, Oroku Saki, to the gauntlet. But Shredder stands in anger. Absurd! I will never sully myself with such nonsense. Foot, slaughter them! He shouts, but the Katsuni orders him to wait. She leans forward explaining that the gauntlet is an ancient path, that by choosing it he will prove that he is truly right to lead the Foot into the new age. Time for plots is over. The time for combat is now. Become the great ruler you were always destined to be. Accept the challenge, she says gently, and Shredder pauses for a moment before turning back to Splinter. Very well, Homoto Yoshi. Let your second death at long last seal your place as a traitor to the Foot Clan. I accept your challenge. I am sorry that we're ending it here today, guys. Honestly, I'm a little sick and recovering from a lot of work trips, and I just couldn't get a bigger one out, but I didn't want to skip out on the Turtles this week. I figured why not leave it here and come back next week, since Shredder is always a good cliffhanger. Make sure you check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon to get early access, and I'll see you guys next week for more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.